Alright, so Grand Theft Auto 6 pre-orders went live this week, and $80 for the standard game, $100 for the Ultimate Edition. And when your physical copy shows up in the mail, there's no disc in the box, it's just a little slip of paper with a download code on it. And if you're lucky, you'll maybe get the map. And the internet is predictably losing its mind. I want to talk about that, but not the way that everyone else is, because where I've landed is probably a little bit unhinged, but I need you to hear me out. Grand Theft Auto is going to be the single biggest entertainment launch in the history of the human race, and I think it's going to be a funeral. Go and find a 12-year-old, ask them if they are hyped for GTA 6. I'm willing to bet that the majority of them are going to look at you like you asked if they're excited for the next Steely Dan record. And if you don't know who Steely Dan is, you just proved my point. They don't care. They're on Roblox, they're on Fortnite, they're playing different games. GTA is the thing that their older sibling wouldn't shut up about. It's the thing that their dad pre-ordered. GTA is unk now. And I say that as someone who is unk. First, what I'm not saying, because the reply guys are already typing. Not saying the game's going to be bad, it's probably going to be absolutely fantastic. Rockstar doesn't really miss. I'm not saying they're going to stop making these games either. What I am saying is that this is the last time that Grand Theft Auto gets to be the center of the culture. The series that basically defined the last 20 years of gaming is up there taking its bow, and everyone's too busy mashing the pre-order button to notice that the curtain's coming down. So 1, the cadence fell off a cliff. Let's start with the part that no one wants to think about, how often these games actually even come out. GTA 3, 2001, Vice City, 1 year later, San Andreas, 2 years after that, GTA 4 in 2008, that's a 4-year gap, that's understandable. GTA 5 in 2013, 5 years, once again, completely understandable, generational leap. But between GTA 5 and GTA 6, 13 years. That's a series falling off a cliff right there. And think about what that 13 years actually means. There are grown adults out there, jobs, kids, mortgages, who have never once had a new Grand Theft Auto game come out while they cared about video games. Now, I am a millennial. I was born in 1990. I grew up on these, but a new GTA game after Grand Theft Auto 3 was an event. You'd hear the date, you'd count it down, maybe you would even take the day off. For my kids, Grand Theft Auto's just been sitting there their whole lives, like a mountain on the horizon. It's furniture, it's just background noise, and you cannot be the heartbeat of a generation if you only show up once a decade. The drumbeat was the whole point. Take the drumbeat away and all you've got is just a really big, really late album. And for me personally, it's where the whole thing clicked for me. I have had 4 kids in the time between GTA 5 and GTA 6. 4. My oldest is starting middle school. That's my whole argument right there. When a series takes so long that I can start and raise an entire family between 2 entries, I just stop caring. It's not spite, it's just life filling in that gap. And it's not just GTA, this is everywhere now. And it's quietly poisoning my relationship with series that I used to love. We have Elder Scrolls. Skyrim dropped in 2011 and I still remember that night perfectly. I was 21, had my birthday in August. I was crammed into my friend's house and there was a whole group of us rolling our characters at midnight together. We were emulating the whole launch night experience because even by 2011 it was starting to die down. That was an entire lifetime ago for me, and the sequel still doesn't have a release date. Most people are guesstimating between 2028, 2029, but I think that given Bethesda's track record, plenty of us are quietly bracing for 2030, 2031, even later. I'm estimating a 17-year gap minimum, and Fallout 5 is confirmed to land after that, so like 2030 at the earliest, 15 years after Fallout 4. So to sit with that timeline, you have the kid who stayed up till midnight to play with the boys starting Skyrim, now is a guy with a household full of kids who has to help enforce their bedtime. And by the time that the next Elder Scrolls game actually shows up, I could be pushing 45 while my oldest kids are touring colleges. Holding my breath for that? I can't and I won't. And every year that these gaps stretch out, I feel myself caring less and less about the names that used to mean so much to me. And it doesn't help that when these games finally do arrive, they don't exactly reinvent the wheel. Like, I'm gonna cite the infamous Nakey Jakey video, Rockstar's game design is outdated, all the way back in 2018. That can't be right. 2018? Jesus. Basically, it's required gaming YouTube at this point. And the argument itself has only aged into being more correct. Rockstar's missions are kind of frozen in time. You follow the yellow line, you do the set piece exactly in the way that they scripted it. The second you step off the path, you shoot a guy a beat too early, fall off the train, or you don't follow the train, the mission has failed. Back to the checkpoint. For all of that open world freedom, the moment an actual story mission starts, you're an actor that is hitting their mark, not a player making a choice. People have been pointing this out for years that the core mission design has barely changed from GTA 3 to 5. It just got prettier each time and the set pieces were able to be more elaborate. And Red Dead Redemption 2, their newest, quote-unquote newest, most ambitious thing, controls like you're steering a fridge at times. Long animations that cancel and fail, inputs that land half a second late, everything sacrificed at the altar of cinematic realism. They keep picking the movie over the game. And this isn't just one YouTuber with an axe to grind. It was consistently flagged by critics across rave reviews. Players turned mission failed, you left the mission area into years-long memes, and it changed nothing. Red Dead Redemption 2 still scored in 97 and sold 37 million copies anyways. When the most restrictive design in the genre still is printing money like that, why would they ever fix it? So my prediction, and I think you already feel it in your gut, GTA 6 is going to be more Grand Theft Auto. New ways to do the Grand Theft Auto. The most gorgeous, most expensive, most polished version of a formula that has barely moved since 2008. And in a way, ironically enough, it's still going to earn every 10 out of 10 that it gets. For being a masterpiece of standing still. For being the statue of David in a way. But the deepest reason GTA can't be what it is wasn't because of its cadence or controls. It's that it can't afford to really take that many risks anymore. Because GTA 6 isn't a video game, it is at this point in time a macro financial event. And I'm sorry for the AI speak, but I feel like it's kind of justified this time. But let's look at the scale of it. Take Two. Rockstar's parent company booked $6.7 billion last year, up 19%. And GTA is one of the two engines of the whole company. GTA 5 alone has sold 230 million copies, second only to Minecraft, the best-selling game ever made, and it pulled in over $10 billion. The most profitable entertainment product in history that wasn't a movie. A 12-year-old game, 12 years old. And the projections for 6 are $1 billion to $2 billion on day one, enough to shatter the Guinness World Record that GTA 5 already holds. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm shaking my desk right now out of frustration. Business schools are writing case studies on the launch right now as we speak. But the number that actually tells the story, GTA 6 got delayed twice. And according to Ampere analysis, just the delay cost the entire games industry around $2.7 billion in revenue that would have existed if it had shipped on time. One game that is not even out yet left a multi-billion-dollar hole in the whole industry just by being late. This is on top of the impact from COVID. This is on top of the impact from AI and on the impact of hardware and things like that. Just Grand Theft Auto. And the whole industry rearranges itself around it. Fable and the new Tomb Raider shoved all the way into 2027 to get out of its path. Dozens of big games crammed into a few weeks this fall just to avoid November because launching anywhere near Grand Theft Auto is a suicide mission. A survey of a couple thousand players found almost a third plan to cut their other game spending in November and December just to be able to comfortably afford this one at $80 or $100. Analysts think that GTA 6 might single-handedly drag the entire game's market back into growth. To add it all up, when one product is that load-bearing for $43 billion companies? For the whole industry's bottom line, for a slice of the country's holiday spending, it stops being art that you can take too many risks with. It becomes something that you protect. You don't hand the loaded satire grenade to the guy guarding the vault. Like, I still think that there are going to be some pretty blatant critiques and a very rockstar level of cynicism to everything, but I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how carefully GTA 6 plays out its satire and its characters, and I guess its message. You can't throw a punch at the establishment when you've become part of the establishment. And I think that's the real heartbreak, because GTA used to be the one that used to be swinging at the establishment. Go back to 2005, San Andreas. There was a hidden half-finished minigame buried in the code. It was labeled the hot coffee mode. Somebody data mines it, and within weeks, Senator Hillary Clinton is firing a letter off to the Federal Trade Commission calling it a silent epidemic. The game gets yanked off shelves and re-rated adults only. The House of Representatives vote on an FTC inquiry, a video game, a national political emergency. Like, that was the bar that Grand Theft Auto was operating in back in the day. And in a way, it kinda earned it, because the satire had teeth. GTA 5 had a Facebook parody called Life Invader right into the story, all about a tech company hoovering up your data. For 20 years, GTA stood there pointing and laughing at corporate power and the American dream and just the whole machine that was built around it. But two things killed that. First, the shock just kind of wore out. The thing that GTA invented, drop into an open world and cause chaos. It got copied so many times that it just kind of became wallpaper. Saints Row cranked it to the point past parody. Goat Simulator made the chaos the punchline. And on the dark end, you had games like Postal and Hatred, where you got to play a man on a literal genocide crusade. Hatred was so grim that it pulled an AO rating for violence, for just violence. But you can hear it in what people get mad about now. Hot Coffee made a country argue about what was inside a game. GTA 6 has people arguing about a download code in a $100 edition. We are arguing about the economics of it. The fight moved off the art and onto the receipt. But the second reason is the one that really gets under my skin, and I touched on it a second ago. You can't satirize corporate America once you've become corporate America. The studio that wrote a data harvesting villain in GTA 5 now runs its own subscription service and sells shark cards. Based off leaked Rockstar data, shark cards, which are essentially in-game currency for Grand Theft Auto Online, they're bringing in like $5 billion over the course of its lifetime. The franchise that mocked corporate greed is now the subject of something that the British press calls Grand Theft Tax. The UK branch of Rockstar reportedly paid £0 in corporate taxes for about a decade, while claiming over $200 million in tax relief. And then, here's the part that you just can't make up. Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar's crown jewel right now. Some of the main villains in that game are the Pinkertons. And if you're not familiar with that name, the Pinkertons are the most infamous union busters in American history. They were strike breakers. They were behind the Homestead Massacre. They were so brutal that Congress passed a law to rein them in. But don't worry, they're still functioning today. They're here to take your Magic the Gathering cards, and you can find them on LinkedIn. But in Red Dead, they function as the boot of industrial capital out to crush the last free men. Rockstar went to court to defend their right to make the Pinkertons the bad guys in their game. But right now, weeks before GTA 6 is out shipping, Rockstar is in a tribunal accused of union busting. They fired 34 people last fall. The union says it was 2 days after the workers hit the threshold it needed to organize. Right now, it's still technically an allegation. It's going to trial, and Rockstar has said it was about leaks. The bottom line of this still is that the studio that fought in court for the right to make union busters its villains is now being accused as one. They ended up living long enough to see themselves becoming the villain. To wrap up, I'm not gonna say don't go pre-order Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm still probably going to buy the game upon release. I'm still probably going to end up spending $80. I'm not going to do it now. I can pre-release it later, but I still think the game is going to be quite an experience. I even told my kids, hey, you know what? Our family Xbox upstairs, it's going to be in my room for a couple days once Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. And I'm going to try to take my time to enjoy this immersive world that all these people have worked on. But at the same time, I know what I'm actually watching. I know what I'm actually playing. And what it is a coronation that's secretly a send-off. Everything that made Grand Theft Auto matter, the steady drumbeat every couple years, the kind of dangerous and controversial name behind every game, the nerve to bite the hand that fed it, that's all gone now. And it's gone for one dumb, simple reason. GTA is now the hand that feeds. Gen Alpha isn't going to grow up fighting the Pinkertons, at least I hope not. They're building their own worlds in games like Roblox and Fortnite and whatever else with their friends every single day. If GTA actually turns up in 2036, I think it's going to land for them in a way a Rolling Stones reunion tour lands for a 15-year-old. Yeah, respect for the legends, but it was never really theirs. Anyways, I will still go play it, and I will feel old. So, this has been your Unk, signing off. And I felt like doing something different. I felt like doing something topical. I didn't really want to spend the whole time doing this whole big-ass essay because I have other stuff that I'm working on right now. But I wanted to give you a couple cents in my thoughts about this. So, let me know what you think. Leave comments down below. And yeah, is GTA 6 Unk? Is GTA basically just for millennials and older Gen Z and all that stuff? Or what do you think? Let me know. Let's talk about it. Okay, love you all. Bye.